tough to get better than the Holsum one, breaking down personnel from the Canes. We tend to forget about these kickers sometimes, but you need that punter to flip field position for you, box down those offenses inside the 10, and you need to make points when you get inside the red zone and can't complete the third down conversion to keep the drive alive, but know that, hey, we pretty much automatically have points on the board, and it's nice to have that guy that you know is going to come in and make the kick when you need it. 12 for 20 out of the three kickers last year as Bubba Baxa won the job, but only hit 5 of 10. And looking at Lewis Headley's performance at almost 44 yards per punt, he seemed to shore up some of the issues you had punting the ball the previous couple seasons.
Man, Mark, it was bad. It was bad at some points, man. 2018, we couldn't even punt the football. Like the main things that teams do, throw, catch, tackle, we were struggling at, and the other one would be kicking the ball.
And when the offense is going 3 and out at their own 25, that really magnifies the problem.
Absolutely, and especially if you're in, playing LSU 2018 opener and you got a 10-yard punt. Either way, it's okay. God bless the young man. We have Lou Headley now, who's one of the best punters in the country. He's also had a couple that fell in the 20, downed him in the 20. So he has a nice boot. He wears the number 94. He looks up to the rock. Great tattoos. Good guy. Funny accent. He's not from America, so he has a nice funny accent. But he goes out and he does his job. Last year, no matter who we played, one thing that and you don't want to say a calling card would be punting, but either way, he was very, very good at his job. And it flipped the field for us plenty of times when we were struggling on the offensive side of the ball. Another great thing was a transfer from FIU. Yes, FIU that beat us this past year was Jose Borregales, who I think he was like 4 of 4 in field goals against us last year, and he went to Miami Booker T. Washington, and Miami wouldn't offer him a scholarship. So he went to FIU and then beat us as a punter, graduated from FIU, and then transferred here to be like, yeah, I did that. I did that.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, but you never know how that scholarship with the punting kicking thing goes. Either way, he's a Miami Hurricane now. And if you look at last season, if you have 3 or 4 kicks go our way, 3 or 4 more wins. Punting and kicking is a very important facet of the game. People don't realize football really is 3 parts: offense, defense, special teams. That's why you have special teams coordinator, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator. All 3 of those guys are very important to the success of the football team. And that's something that we're taking serious and being able to take that next step on the special teams side. Now, we need some punt and kick returns to the house also. So not just the kickers, but those who are catching those kicks. And there's a lot of guys on this team that could do punt and kick return. You have Mark Pope. You have Xavier Restrepo is somebody, a freshman that people are really excited about as a punt kick return guy. But for me, it's Marcus Clark, who made his billing in Orlando, Florida as a punt and kick return ace, man, taking it to the house. 8 punt and kick returns as a junior and 9 punt and kick returns as a senior, taking it to the house in Florida, period, where you got speed all over the field. That's something I'm really excited to see him get a chance to do for the Miami Hurricanes.
Because I know we've talked about this in the past, and this has been one of your calling card points. Let's get some yardage in the punt return game.
My goodness, man. I could – Braxton Berrios, I appreciate you for Tallahassee 2017. He'll always have a great spot in my heart for what he did 2017. But I could not stand watching the games, and every punt, he just – every single – no matter where it was, he fair caught it. It could be at the 5, it could be at the 10, it could be at the 30. He would always fair catch it, man, and it's nice to see people catch it.
Nobody else in the TV screen, nothing but green grass and –
oh, my goodness, man. But, I mean, he never made a bad play, never muffed a punt. And whenever he did return it, he got a lot of yards. But either way, man, it would be exciting to see us get – because that's one of the things you talk about the Miami Hurricanes when we were rolling. It's one of the things we had over people. You had your Devin Hesters. You had your Santana Mosses. You had your Phillip Buchanans who could take it to – if you want to go old school, you got your Mike Williams of the 80s who was – the speedster that could take it to the crib also, so that was a big thing. Punt and kick return has to come back. And I know they've moved the ball up on kickoff, but punt return is still a part of the game. On the Miami Hurricanes, I think we can start taking that step in that direction and adding that facet to our repertoire.
Holsum One, I know you want to win them all, and that's the ultimate goal. But what's that line of demarcation in terms of if we come through this having played all 12 games, and we'll forget the postseason or a possible ACC championship game, but just the 12 games on the schedule, and obviously we can shake them out all sorts of different ways. Do you beat this team or that team, and how you would want to stack up the wins versus the losses? But just in terms of a record, what's the expectation versus what would really make you happy versus what would fall behind that line of, okay, we didn't meet expectations? What would you be satisfied with?
A nice middle ground for me would be 9-3. Reason being is still a young head coach, still learning. So you might get out coached in some instances. Because the reason why I say that, that's where it has to stop. If he goes into that 8-4 range, we're having some problems. Something's wrong. But if he creeps into that 10+ range, then you can see he took advantage of an easy schedule also, but he did it. I mean, you have to go out and win these games. I mean, you could pistol in people with W's and 1,000 yards all we want to, but you still have to go out there and play the games. Well, in that aspect, you talk about a young second-time head coach. In some instances at 9-3, to me, that would be a really good regular season record. If he falls under 9, some heartbreak conversations need to start happening. But if he creeps into 10, that means he's showing the recruits in South Florida, I'm serious. He's made these off-season changes on the offensive side of the ball that worked out. If we fall under 9, he may have to start looking into the defensive side of the ball, because you can't just keep firing everybody on one side of the ball and not looking to the other to at least advance in some shape, form, or fashion. So for me, my flat line is 9-3.
Because I got to tell you, at some point, I'm going to break down every team and I'm going to go game by game by game and try to predict these games. And when I look at Miami, I don't know that there's a team across the country that I'm going to have a more difficult time figuring out, because you're better talent-wise than every team on the schedule.
Period.
And there are two teams, in my estimation, that are in the same range. That would be Florida State and North Carolina.
Oh,
that are
absolutely.
in the same range, but you have a better roster than both of them. But it's close. And then you've got maybe 2 or 3 other teams that it wouldn't be an embarrassment to lose to. They're good teams. They have top 30 type teams. Virginia Tech, throw in Wake Forest, Michigan State, of course,
Right.
Isn't what they were 5 years ago, but it's still a really good Big Ten team on the road. But man, if you just take individual game by game by game, you can almost come out with 12-0.
Absolutely. And that's the thing about being in the ACC Coastal. The teams that we're playing, it isn't the SEC West, isn't the SEC East, isn't the Big Ten, to where, every week you have guys that are very similar talent-wise, and then also very similar on the coaching tilt. In the ACC Coastal, it's been the coaching tilt to where the teams have had a little 5% here, 10%, 15% here against Miami on the coaching side of things. And that usually trumps the talent if the talent isn't put in position to succeed. And, that would probably be the reason why I think the last 15 years have gone the way that they have, is because we've had the talent. It's just not the coaching.
There's a breakdown for you, folks. From the Holsum One, offense, defense, special teams, expectations for 2020. Hopefully we see it through with the 12-game season. And if not, we get some kind of semblance of a season. I'm hearing all sorts of things about not playing non-conference games and 10-game seasons, and we shall wait and see. But it's only about 8 weeks away, so we shall soon find out.
Yeah, we need answers. We need answers. Thank you so much, Mark, for the opportunity. 3rd year in a row. We're excited about it. And I've dumbed it down a little bit every year. 11-1, 10-2, 9-3. So I appreciate it. God bless. Have a good one. Go Canes.